Go Love. .30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Alfine, co-host Richie Jones with me as well.
Good
Pops
morning.
with us, too.
Hey, you guys.
He is not scuba diving this morning. He's not playing Scuba Steve. But if you want to get on the show here, you can. You can hit us up at Off the Bench, CFB on YouTube. And, share your thoughts. Get in on as we move toward fall camp. College football season officially going to be open in 26 days.
We are in the month of college football.
Finally. It's been a long offseason.
Yes, it has.
And August is going to be chaotic with the schedule here on Off the Bench and, of course, fall camp. As I think we'll be out 1 week. I'll be traveling 2 or 3 weeks out of the month. And
Just work when you want to. It's fine.
I know. That's going to be the case.
It's not like you're the host or anything.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Right. Everything revolves around me. I love it. I like how it's like that. And it's always good to hear that. Y'all are already hitting up the comment section this morning. Actually, Pops is what is happening. He's telling everybody what's up.
I just wanted to know if they're done filming Scuba Steve Part 2, or are they just in like post-production?
Is this like a spinoff of Big Daddy where they're doing Scuba Steve? 'Cause I don't remember it actually being an actual movie.
I know. Yeah.
Well, you're done with Scuba Steve for a minute.
Okay. So maybe filming is wrapped for a little.
At least on Saturday mornings.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
The main portion, they may have to come back and record some filler stuff and everything. But
right.
That happens, and
Right. We do have to actually get to the show here this morning, guys. So as we go through the show here, there's a lot of things happening. One question we'll ask, when does Alabama need to name its starting quarterback? It's been questioned in the media. Feinbaum has been talking about it on his show over the last week. There's a lot to get to when it comes to when they should start it, who should be the starter, if they're going to let it play through, maybe go through a platoon system for a couple of games. We're going to talk about that here just in a little bit. The Big Ten coaches have also been firing some shots at the SEC. That would be
one coach.
No. Bielema has too.
Well,
Cignetti and Bielema.
I don't care anything about Bielema, but
Well,
one coach in particular attempted to fire a shot. Yeah.
Yes. Well, and Bielema was a little more direct toward the SEC.
Yeah, well.
He was. We're also going to be talking about a lot of storylines heading into fall camp this morning. And, of course, Whittingham has made some very weird comments for a football coach for the University of Michigan. We have to address that. It's honestly, I think the fans are going to run him out of town before he even tries to stabilize Michigan.
Which, if he can stabilize Michigan, he's a better coach than I even gave him credit for, and I thought he was a pretty good coach.
Right. So we'll definitely going to discuss that a little later, go a little deeper into it. And, of course, a little bit of buy or sell with the college football edition of Buy or Sell.
Ooh.
It's going to be a fun segment we're going to do with you to the show. Y'all stay tuned for that. But as we start off the show this morning, when does Alabama need to name its starting quarterback? So let's go through a lot of this. So at what point does keeping the competition open begin hurting Alabama's preparation for this season? Austin Mack and Keelon Russell, they enter fall camp as Alabama's leading quarterback options. Mack served as Alabama's primary backup in 2025, while Russell received limited playing time as a freshman. Alabama's early schedule creates a lot of urgency for the Tide to figure this out quickly. Alabama opens the season, of course, at home against East Carolina on September 5th. The Crimson Tide then travel to Kentucky on September 12th for the first SEC game and a first road game of the season. That means Alabama does not have several weeks to slowly determine its quarterback situation. The starter will have one home game against East Carolina before facing a conference opponent, road environment, a new coaching staff, an offensive-minded head coach, a Kentucky program with very little external pressure external pressure, and plenty of motivation. You know, Will Stein's confidence at media days set a precedent for how they're going in through this year.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, without saying a lot of it, right, he pretty much said, you know, why is, Kentucky going to be good this year? I think because of me is what Will Stein's response was.
That's right up there with Google me.
It is.
Yeah.
It was a very, very, and, you know, there's two kinds of things that can happen with that. You have the Curt Cignetti effect,
Mm-hmm.
where you go 16-0, play a phenomenal season, one that you have not seen Indiana do ever
Yeah.
at all, or you fall flat. Fall flat.
The Brian Kelly effect.
Yeah, the Brian Kelly
So
effect.
you have one of two options.
You have one of two options.
Kirk Cignetti,
Yeah.
Brian Kelly.
And Will Stein's going to coach like he has nothing to lose. So when does Bama decide who their starter is?
Well, I can tell you when they'll announce it.
Okay.
I know.
All
I
right.
know things.
How do you know things?
I know things. September 3rd.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that same thing. That's what I was going to say. Right before the game, you're going to see a quarterback. He's either going to wear number, 10 or 12 or whatever those two numbers are, 10, 12, 15, whatever it might be. I don't remember. But that's when you're going to find out who starting quarterback is.
According to the new bylaws of the
Oh.
NCAA,
You have to.
the because of those casinos out in the desert,
Right.
they have to announce the starters and the health of each individual player by Thursday of game week, which is September 3rd. So we will know the starter quarterback September 3rd.
So it all has to do with the injury report deal, the requirements.
Okay. What requirement does it say that he can name a starter and then just put the other one in?
Nothing.
I'm sure there's some sort of, hey, don't do that on page like 19
That they can enforce?
of said rule book. I don't know that they can enforce
That they can
it.
enforce?
I think they could just walk up to him and go, no, don't do that again. You know,
Well,
pop him on the nose one good time. And
So, yeah, we can say that they'll name a starter. We'll put that in quotations, naming a starter. Okay, but Feinbaum has been talking all week about how they could run this platoon system, and he put this approach out there to run it for 2 games, East Carolina and Kentucky. Immediately, I hit back and said, no. What? No. You do not want to run 2 quarterbacks out there in a platoon system against the University of Kentucky, against Will Stein, a head coach who is going to coach like he has nothing to lose.
I mean, I give you that. I mean, this is very similar than a couple of years ago when we played Auburn, and I was like, if Auburn doesn't rip the kitchen sink out and just throw it on the 50-yard line, then their coaching staff knows they're fired.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know this or not. Auburn's got a new head coach this year. I wonder what happened. Maybe they didn't rip the kitchen sink out and throw it out on the 50-yard line like I had suggested. But anyway, you and I disagree on a few things in life.
Mm-hmm.
How good the Kentucky football program in 2026 is
It's one of them.
is near the top of.
So I want to ask you this, Richie, because we were on my other show on Alabama Primetime on the Alabama Voice College Football. We were talking about this. Do you know who the running back for the University of Kentucky is?
I do not.
It's C.J. Baxter,
Okay, tell me about CJ.
former Texas running back.
How did he do at Texas?
He had a good career at Texas.
Well, he's no longer at Texas. I wonder why.
He had a good career at Texas.
Why is he no longer at Texas?
Oh, I'm assuming he wanted to transfer.
Well, they have a certain running back that was going to come to Alabama, and then he ended up at Texas.
Oh.
What was that guy's name?
So he had a good career at Texas, but wasn't good enough to continue being the starter at Texas.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
What else you got?
Okay, of course you have Kenny Mitchie. We talked about Kenny Mitchie. I know me and you have talked about Kenny
Who's
Mitchie.
the quarterback?
Kenny Mitchie.
Tell me about him.
All right. Here's how you
where was
explain
he-
Kenny Mitchie, because
where
he
was he
hasn't
at last
started yet. He was at Notre Dame.
All right, what did he do at Notre Dame?
Okay, at one point he was in a quarterback battle with C.J. Carr.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
How did that go?
You know what a lot of people said about C.J. Carr?
No, what did they say?
He was a Heisman candidate.
Yeah.
Did he? How many votes did he get?
Oh, hold on. For this year, he's an incoming Heisman candidate. Okay?
Oh.
Let's talk about last year.
Okay, tell me about last year.
Okay, they were neck and neck in their quarterback battle.
With who?
Oh, it was C.J. Baxter and Kenny Mitchie.
Oh, how did that work out for him?
Oh, and C.J. Carr became the starter.
Okay.
All right?
And how many votes did he get for Heisman?
Oh, you didn't get done last year.
Okay.
Okay. What I'm trying to explain about this is that C.J. Carr and Kitty Minchie, if they were neck and neck at one point, C.J. Carr's he's considered a Heisman candidate as long as the tracks stay on. That's what they've always said about C.J. Carr. If he goes off in the ditch, he's obviously that's not going to be good. There's no recovery for C.J. Carr. Okay, Kitty Minchie, on the other hand, if you're saying he was neck and neck with a future Heisman candidate, and now he's in an offense with Will Stein, who has produced a Heisman candidate in Dante Moore, I think it's a marriage in college football that's built for success.
And I can,
especially with a defense you have two young quarterbacks who have limited playing time experience.
I can give you that, but here's my thing.
You're going to have pressure that whole game.
How much play experience does the starting quarterback at Kentucky have?
How much play experience does the starting quarterbacks of Alabama have?
Okay.
You have one game for Austin Mack
so we're
on a really competitive level?
So we're equal there.
Yeah.
How many snaps at running back does Kentucky's running back have at Kentucky?
0.
Okay.
How many good snaps did you have for Alabama at running back last year?
Okay, so we're level.
Okay.
Okay. How many good snaps at wide receiver has any Kentucky player ever had?
You have one in the preseason All-American. I'm going to forget his name. Okay, that's fair.
I'm just saying,
but
you're talking all this.
Game? You know what the difference in this game is? Alabama's got one of the best secondaries in college football.
And one of the best
Alabama
wide
has
receivers.
An offensive line that they don't know if it's going to be good or bad, which is going to set the whole entire tone for the
and
offense.
how good or bad is Kentucky's offensive line going to be?
Yes.
And who's ranked in the top 25? Kentucky's not.
Kentucky's not. Give him a couple weeks.
You talk about this quarterback at Kentucky like he's the next coming of whatever.
Joe Burrow.
Okay, Joe Burrow. Okay, but
Fernando Mendoza is at Kentucky right
when
now.
When you got a quarterback at Notre Dame and you quarterback at Alabama, guess what? Every one of them Notre Dame offensive linemen are. Every one of them are.
Like
They're
4
all
or 5 stars. Yeah.
4 or 5 stars.
4 stars, yeah.
At Kentucky, you're going to get 2s, 1s, 3s, okay? Because they couldn't get to the school they wanted to go to. They settled for an SEC program at Kentucky.
See, but I
I'm
don't.
just saying, that's just the reality of college football.
That's okay. But in 1 or 2 years, I think there is a difference made in Kentucky by Will Stein.
I'm not worried about 1 or 2 years. I'm worried about week 2.
No. I understand that.
I could care less what Kentucky football is.
I'm worried about, what do we, what'd you say?
I'm worried about who the starting
38 days away.
Yeah, the starting quarterback at the University of Alabama is on week 2.
That's understandable.
Why I'm giving you so much crap is you in one breath, in this one segment that we've been on, you have talked about how Alabama doesn't know who their starting quarterback is. Their offensive line is meshed together and has never played together, and blah, 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 blah. And how great and mighty the Big Blue of Kentucky is, who also has a starting quarterback who has never played in an SEC game, who also has an offensive line who's never played in an SEC game. So it's like we want to talk about this great and wonderful coach who showed up at Kentucky like 17 seconds ago and brought a guy who lost to a possible Heisman Trophy candidate.
My point in this whole thing is Kentucky is a point of a bunch of either newcomers or rejected people. Right, okay, and that's the case with Will Stein. Will Stein is going to come out there heavy, and he's going to come out there hot. He has 1 week to prepare against Youngstown State at home. Okay, this is going to be Will Stein's first SEC game.
At home.
I think it's a game that Alabama has very much underestimated in so many ways because of the actual talent that Will Stein has brought into Kentucky, and that Will Stein's going to come out there with nothing to lose. He has time to build this team, but he doesn't have to wait if he doesn't want to.
If this was week 9, I'd listen to you. If this was week 2 of 2028 season, I'd listen to you.
Hey, Richie, on the socials, man, and I do not know who this is, Mike GS91. This dude is just another clone Bama hater. Dude, they're calling you a Bama hater.
I'm a Bama hater?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you are. Or is it Kelsey's the
Could be
Bama
me.
hater?
I mean, I'm not
Mike
wearing
G2 did last week.
I'm not wearing an Alabama shirt or anything. I didn't graduate from the University of Alabama or anything. I my deepest apologies for hating on Bama.
Well, yeah, of course. Mike G, of course, yeah, he's hitting us up in the comments section. Bama's over 25-star players in the roster now. Kentucky hasn't had a 5-star in the history of their program.
Oh, they have.
Oh, so he's calling you a Bama hater.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bama owns the series.
Dude,
can we
it's
be
all-
honest? Kentucky
series.
sucks. They fired their head coach. They
This show
fired
is-
Stoops.
Yeah, but let's remember Kentucky when they brought in Stoops. There was all this hype, man. Stoops troops. I don't know if you guys remember this.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
There was all of this hype, okay? I think the hype is there for Kentucky football, okay? But, dude, if we are silly if we sit there and think that this quarterback, Mitchie,
Kenny Minchie, yeah.
is going to come in and,
But
and
Pops.
throw dimes
Pops.
on Bama's secondary.
Pops,
it's not going to happen.
Pops, he lost the starting position to a possible Heisman Trophy candidate.
At Notre Dame.
Gosh.
Dude, you're going to get blasted.
Y'all go with
with this
blast. I
audience,
will
man.
stay on this train of Kentucky has so much going for them this coming season, okay? And they fired Stoops because they plateaued. This is not a restart. This is similar to Ole Miss. You know, it's been so long since Ole Miss has fired their coach, and they haven't had a complete restart. They don't have that down at Ole Miss, okay? There's differences, okay? I get it. Chambliss and Lacey both are Heisman candidates coming up this year, okay?
But wait, but
Pete
he
Golding's
lost.
in there, and he's got a very limited window to go for one. Okay, Will Stein's a little different.
So I'll
but
give
they're
you
not
this.
restarting.
I'll give you this, man.
Yeah.
If Will Stein does what Cignetti did at Indiana last year, if we'd have had this conversation last year about,
yeah.
oh my God, are you kidding me? Indiana's going to win 3 ball
I'll eat a
games,
Kentucky
you know?
hat live on
All right.
air.
Dude, all
right.
I'll break out my Kentucky gear because
That's what I was about to say. All right.
Hey, Kentucky goes 16-0. I will get on Branded Bills and order a Kentucky hat, and I will sit here live during the national championship game and take a fork and knife and eat it while watching the national championship game.
I'll tell you what, guys. Here's how the season is going to go. Kentucky is going to get their 8th win of the season, and they'll be bowl eligible.
8.
They're going to go for 8 wins this
Dude, their
season.
strength of schedule is too hard.
Hold on.
I mean, when
Kentucky-
Georgia, what would you say, Richie, earlier? Georgia's has the lowest SEC strength of schedule, and their strength of schedule is 21.
I apologize. ESPN has updated it. It's 20.
Yeah, it's 20, and so Kentucky's going to fall in probably in the teens.
All right, here's
in
what I'm
strength
saying.
of schedule.
Kentucky has the 4th hardest schedule in the country.
Dude, they do not win 8 ball games this
Kentucky
year.
is going to go for 8 ball games. Pops is going to end up at the end of the season putting his Lorenzen jersey on for Saturdays. 7:30 a.m., 1 through 9 FM. Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Elfine, co-host Richie Jones in the building with me as well, and Pops opposite side of us. You know, Wes, I kind of wish we had a DJ in the house. Fortunately, we don't.
I DJ'd for a little while.
Yeah,
You DJ for a little bit?
DJ Richie,
DJ Richie
DJ
Rich.
Richie
Yeah.
did? Okay.
I did for a long time, actually.
Problem is you know, it's YouTube always, you know, and YouTube, I'm probably going to have to get some crap for YouTube for this and have to figure this whole thing out. But we do have a contract in place. And if you missed the show last week and we had Caleb Mills on, he's a local singer-songwriter here, writes in Nashville during the week, but he has some incredible music, and he was very nice enough to give us a couple songs.
So you can play them on YouTube.
And unfortunately, they can't hear that on the radio side. But we got to figure that out in the future where we can get that completely going. But now I'm going to catch some crap for YouTube later. But it's okay. You can expect to hear Caleb during the breaks with Surviving Two Country, two of the songs that he's very graciously enough to give us access to. And don't worry, go check him out. Check him out on Facebook, or all of his stuff's in the description, thecalebmills.com, if you want to check out where he's playing in the future and his music. He's a really, really good singer-songwriter. We've known him for a couple of years here. on the Off the Bench College Football Show, and we're excited to be able to play his music, and we'll be playing it during the break.
I think the first time I ever heard him was at Moe's.
Mm-hmm. He plays a lot at Moe's.
Yeah, Moe's Providence. It's been a minute though.
It has been a minute. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of people who could sponsor the show,
I don't even know if they do any concerts there anymore, which is disappointing.
Yeah, we haven't been there since Caleb quit playing there.
Yeah.
that'd be a fun place to do the show live from one day.
It would be. It would be. All right, guys. So here's the deal. All right. Yes, I say Kentucky 8 wins, Mike G. I did say that. And
you did.
we looked it up.
Over what, the next 2 seasons?
Over the next 2 seasons.
Or is that including basketball?
We looked it up.
Now we're going to have some conversation.
4.5 is what their win total is right now.
Wow, that's
what the betting odds for the win totals are according to FanDuel.
4.5. It kind of resembles their strength of schedule where they fall in the nation. I think the fourth hardest.
Yes.
schedule
But
in the nation.
if you know me, I like to die on a hill.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna die on this.
This is a mountain you are trying to build.
I died on the hill last year of a certain team in Indiana named the Hoosiers and they made me look like a joke.
You also died on the Texas A&M hill during the playoff.
Yeah, I did do that.
That you didn't really even make it up the hill. You
No, I was frostbitten before I got up the mountain.
Yeah.
That's how it happened. Okay, guys, we do have to completely get rid of this question, though. Not really get rid of this question, but completely. When does the quarterback get named for Alabama? Who is going to be the starter, and when does it happen?
Okay, let me ask you a question to answer this question. Why do they have to name a starter?
Continuity. That's the thing. I think it's continuity amongst the team.
You
I mean,
have
think about this.
It's offensive line chemistry. It is wide receiver chemistry with the quarterback.
But do I have to announce that to?
You don't have to announce it to the media. You don't have to.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if I could be with the team and tell the team, "Hey, this is our guy. This is he's getting first."
But as a team, who and when would you announce it?
The second I knew one of the 2 quarterbacks had taken the reins.
Okay, but then you're risking a lot when doing that. Let's say it's Austin Mack. You do it too early, you completely say, Keelon, you're not ready at all. And then Keelon gets in his head. He goes, Coach, I'm transferring next year. It's a delicate
Keelon
situation.
will not transfer next year. No matter what, Austin Mack is gone next year. Keelon will be the starting quarterback. Will he have competition? Yes. But Keelon will not transfer.
So Mike G also hit us up again. Keelon Russell's Bama's highest recruit ever. Play him. Okay, the problem with that is, okay, that's fine, but you have to accept that Bama's going to have mistakes early on and maybe late into the season. That's the only issue with starting Keelon, is you will have mistakes, and you have to accept that.
Dude, you're bringing up these. You will have mistakes. You really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, dude.
Yeah.
Keelon could be the best thing since sliced bread, and next thing you know, could be standing on the Heisman stage. We don't know that, or Austin Mack could. I think Coach DeBoer said, "Hey, we are going to name the quarterback when we're ready, okay? And we're going to name the best player for the best team, the person who takes control, the person who has command of that offensive line, the person who can call an audible on the line, the person who can direct receivers, all of those things that we had last year, okay? He's got to have that command and control. Whoever's got that will be named the Alabama starting quarterback, and it hadn't been done yet.
Mm-hmm.
If I was Mr. DeBoer, I wouldn't name one until 4:59 on September 3rd.
No, he's got to name it a week out at least. You got to have you got to know who your starting quarterback is.
I'm saying I wouldn't name it to the public.
Oh,
like, I'm saying that they may already know in the locker room who
They
the quarterback is.
100% might, and I think East Carolina's a fine game to work the platoon system in. I think it's an okay game to do that. The issue that I see is that after that game, I think it needs to be solidified before the Kentucky game, whether it's in practice that week or it's right after the East Carolina game. I think no matter what, that is your latest point to signal that you have your quarterback. And honestly, I'm behind Keelon Russell. That's the feel throughout camp. That's been who fans and who media has said this is the guy. He's just going to be too good to keep off the field. Hey, Walker, I know we have a hard break here. Are we over that? I don't. We just had that hard break. Are we in commercial? 7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville. We'll be right back.
This goes out to all you great nations third. A lot of record Spit sitting in a sun-dried can, cut off tea with a farm stand, trash in the back of a nesting bedroom, tattoo right across your chest. People say we're all just ticks, but they get it if they did it like this. Out in the sticks, we say, hey, are ye how, honey? We ain't broke, but we don't come for money. Your supper's on the stove if you're hungry. We get tired on a Saturday night and then on Sunday. We're in a church view, yeah, we kill what we eat if we have to. If you think we're silly, kind of hillbilly, then you just don't get it, buddy. Must be too country. Yeah, we burn a little rubber in a parking lot. Can't get in any trouble if you're friends with the cops. We are who we are, ain't gonna stop. Only listen to our mamas and God. And we say, hey, are ye how, honey? We ain't broke, but we don't come for money. Supper's on the stove if you're hungry. We get tired on a Saturday night and then on Sunday. We're in a church view, yeah, we kill what we eat if we have to. If you think we're silly, kind of hillbilly, then you just don't get it, buddy. Must be too country. Must be too country. If I'm going downhill, I'd rather be surrounded by fields. Back in BFE, you say, hey, are ye how, honey? We ain't broke, but we don't come for money. Your supper's on the stove if you're hungry. We get tired on a Saturday night and then on Sunday. We're in a church view, yeah, we kill what we eat if we have to. If you think we're silly, kind of hillbilly, then you just don't get it, buddy. Must be too country. Must be too country. Yeah. I was always that boy getting into trouble, sneaking bottles from my daddy's cupboard. At least he knew that my mama tried. Tonight I showed up 10 minutes late, but to me that was early. If I ain't getting paid, then I ain't in a hurry. It's closing time. I'm still ready to drink, 'cause I'm under the influence of Merle Haggard and Waylon, walking down a road near College Station. Can't find my ride, I'm too drunk to drive. I can find my keys, I get a DUI. I'm running on a cheap bottle of old Jim Beam and a half-empty can of nicotine. Under the influence of hanging out SURVIVE. All my friends have done gone home and I'm sitting here on the sidewalk alone. All the honky-tonks are shutting down. Sun's waking up in my head, it's a hurting. Time to call up one of those blonde-headed nurses, somewhere to sleep, and maybe an IV. 'Cause I'm under the influence of Merle Haggard and Waylon, walking down a road near College Station. Can't find my ride, I'm too drunk to drive. I can find my keys, I get a DUI. I'm running on a cheap bottle of old Jim Beam and a half-empty can of nicotine. Under the influence of hanging out SURVIVE. Everything will be alright, just as long as I make it through tonight. some Merle Haggard and Waylon. Stuck in some apartment, don't know the location. Think I lost my keys. Hope they don't tow my truck, 'cause I'm running.
7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks, Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Alfine. Co-host Richie Jones in the building as well. Pops on the other side. We never really finished off the conversation about the quarterback battle and when it needs to be solidified. I'm one that says Keelon Russell is the guy, and this needs to be solidified the practice of the Kentucky week. You have to do that in the practice before Kentucky, the Kentucky week in week 2. Richie, you just told me off air something that was unfathomable in my mind.
I don't think I think they could go back and forth for the first 3 weeks.
Which I think is crazy, Pops.
I'm not a fan of that. Name your starter.
Oh, I'm not a fan of it. I'm just saying they could. I'm not as worried about Kentucky as somebody that's sitting next to me is. I'm not going to point any fingers or say any names or anything, but Kelsey, what do you think?
This has to be the week of Kentucky. You need a starting quarterback.
I agree.
Finalized.
I agree. Ultimately, I think we'll be fine the first 3 weeks regardless of which one they pick. I think they already know who the starting quarterback is. I think they're just not going to tell the media. They're not going to tell the fans. They're not going to tell the people. I think it could be, like I said, noon on the 3rd when the depth chart has to be released, or 5 o'clock or whatever time, like the 4:59 Eastern or whatever it is, where the actual depth chart has to be released and the injury report and everything. I would be shocked at this point if they don't already know, like, yeah, this guy's the starting quarterback.
Pops?
Well, I mean, I think I said it off air. You know, who I want to be the starting quarterback will be Keelon Russell, and I don't think they named that early. Okay, and my issue with it is when you don't have a starting quarterback named, whatever guy comes in the second rotation. Let's say Bama has a great first half against Eastern Carolina, and the Pirates fans that show up in the purple and gold, they show up and they go home crying, and then Keelon gets to play second half reps. Okay, and if that's the case. I don't like it because a lot of times when you play second half reps, you don't get starters reps, okay? You don't have the continuity amongst the offensive line. So whatever quarterback is named, I wish they'd do it early, okay? I'm hoping it's Keelon, but I'm a realist with how long Mack has been with Coach DeBoer and Coach Grubb.
What season was it? And I agree with what you're saying there, but I don't think they're going to do a first half, second half. I think they will do 2 series and then 2 series and then 2 series, and then you'll see ones like, oh, okay, he's feeling it, he's on the field, and he's going to be the quarterback for the rest of the game, or he gets a 3rd or 4th series in a row. What year was it when we started one quarterback the first game of the season and then brought in another quarterback, and then it wasn't that many years ago where we had this battle.
That was the Milroe deal.
Was that Milroe? Are you talking about Buckner?
Yeah, you're talking about Buckner.
Yes.
Whoever the
Tyler
other quarterback
Buckner.
is.
Because we were discussing it off the air about the different Alabama quarterback battles that have been, and obviously the craziest one was, at like halftime of a national championship game.
Bonus points if you can tell me where Tyler Buckner ended up at.
I know where he played.
Oh Lord, Eastern Carolina.
No, I'll give you a hint. He didn't play college football where he ended up at.
Yeah.
He switched sports.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can name the sport, but I can't tell you the team.
My guess would be baseball.
Well, okay.
No, you're way
He ended
off.
up going back to his former team and playing
And he ended up playing like in a national championship for lacrosse.
for Notre Dame.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do remember hearing about that. Good job.
Yeah.
Did they win? Did he get a ring?
I don't think they won. I think they ended up playing like Johns Hopkins or something, and they lost. Yeah.
Those lacrosse games in teams that are good in lacrosse is always fun to see who's in there.
All right, we got to move on to the
Sorry.
show here today, guys. It's all right. Hey, comment section hitting us up. A lot of you guys hitting it up, and we appreciate it here. Carl hitting us up, Roll Tide. Same with 5 Adam hitting us up as well with a Roll Tide. He also said, if College Sports Act pass, will recruiting go back relationship cap, NIL money, and chance to win and go to the NFL?
Yes, but we have 3 days left for the SAVE Act to get passed. Saw a whole article about this. basically what's going to happen is the Congress has gone back and told the commissioners to come up with something that they agree with, so including the SEC and the Big Ten, which is the powers to be right now. They have like 3 days, because if it's not submitted and done within 3 days, there has to be the Senate has to vote, and then the House has to vote, and then apparently the people that we the people vote for and send to Washington D.C. to get to go on a 1-month vacation after the first week of August. And if you know anything about the political calendar, they'll come back 1st of September. All they're going to do at that point is the gnashing and grinding of teeth and the moaning and whatnot, and then start the campaigning for November.
Midterm cycle.
Yeah, so I've heard that they've got 3 days to get it done. If it's not done in 3 days, the only two options would be 2 years from now before it's ever done. So 2 seasons from now before it's ever done. Or the guy that's at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue would have to just get a piece of paper and a pen out and sign his name to it.
We'll see
So
what
if
happens.
it doesn't get signed, does the SEC do its thing? Does the SEC
No, the
say-
SEC's not going on its own.
It's a bluff.
But to answer your
He's
question,
bluffing.
if it does pass, yes, because what will happen is it's going to level in theory, it's going to level the playing field, where right now you've got teams that are have $40-50 million rosters, and there's going to be a cap on what the roster can actually be, which means you then have to go back to the relationships, you have to go back to the recruiting, because you have to sell, hey, Tyler Buckner, you can come here and we're going to give you, $1 million for year one, but for every year you stay, we're going to bump that up. So that's my 2 cents on the SAVE Act. I was high on it. I thought it was going to get passed. At this point, I have no faith in it getting passed. There's a better chance that the guy in the big White House signs a piece of paper.
So I was talking about this with you talk about leveling out the playing field. That's maybe for the Power Four. But I was talking about this with Lucas Hill, and if you don't know who Lucas Hill is, he's the color analyst for Lions Up Football on ESPN+. Lucas Hill was saying, and both me and him agreed on this, is when he was at media days for the Sun Belt, they were very adamant on that this act does not help them in any way, shape, or form. For them, if you have 2 transfers, if you have 2 years to transfer,
Yeah.
why would they look into the transfer portal? There's no reason to, because they might go there for 1 year, then they're back out. They just wasted a bunch of money.
Not unless you're a big superstar player.
Yeah, but it doesn't help them in any way, shape, or form for their long form.
Yes and no. I
Continuation.
can see where the helping, because right now, if Texas Tech, Oregon, Baylor, Rutgers, Northwestern wanted to, they've got enough alumni that they could throw 80, 90, 100 mil at a season and not blink an eye. So they could go out and legitimately say, we're going to be the Dodgers, and we're going to buy everybody.
Oh,
come
we're
on.
gonna be LSU, and we're going to buy everybody.
Come on down. If you put a cap of $40 million for everybody, it's going to be very similar to the 99 scholarship cap. That didn't hurt the Sun Belt. So if I can only spend $40 million, I got to be careful, because if my quarterback is 8, I only got $32 million for the other 98 players on the team.
We got to move on from this topic today, as we have a lot more to talk about here on the Off the Bench College Football Show. 5 Adam also hitting us up. Guys, easy. We go 5-0 going in UGA game. He's an Alabama fan.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Yeah,
Roll Tide.
I think you're right.
You have a good chance for that. You got South Carolina in their trap game.
But it's not in October.
It's not in October. That's the good thing. Lenore Sellers and Shane Beamer, this is kind of their make-or-break year. So Lenore Sellers is gone after this year. Shane Beamer, a lot of people think he's very much in the hot seat going into this year. So that trap game will help decide a lot. I don't think there's a lot of issues with Mississippi State. A lot of people want to call that a trap game. I just don't see where Lebby actually gets this Mississippi State team under control.
We have 3 teams that if they don't pull the kitchen sink out and throw it onto the 50-yard line,
Yeah.
what are they doing? Kentucky should.
South Carolina.
South Carolina has to.
Yeah.
And Mississippi State if they can find the kitchen sink, should throw it out there.
That's the one game this year that I would really, really like to go to.
I do too. Down in Starkville.
State.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that has to be
I've been
planned.
to 2 there.
Just because of the whole experience the Cowboy situation just one time, you know. I've
That's
heard
all you
some-
want.
Let our ears bleed for a little
Yeah.
bit.
That's all you want one time.
That's all you want, right?
Uh,
Carl also hitting us up. Need to name a starter immediately. I disagree.
I like Carl's attitude. I think
I disagree.
He's,
I
like
think
he's my brother or something.
I
It's
think
a
you
great. I mean, it's a great. I mean, it's in theory he's right. You
yes,
should, you should
in
start.
theory, but
yeah.
I think you let the situation breathe for a little bit longer. I don't
I
think
think-
you have to name it before.
I think
I don't
you
think
name,
We got 30 days, man. Name the
you
quarterback.
name the starter the day you know that's the guy.
That's true too. That's true too. 5 Adam again hitting us up. Eye test tell me Keelon give up threat explosive in passing and running.
So he's going to. He's
Well,
saying
that's what's
if
going
you
to
don't start him, you're going to give that threat up. Last time I checked, I
Austin
do
Mack.
remember Mack coming into the Indiana game. He had one good initial series. Remember that?
he had one good throw.
Yeah, and he had a good little scramble as well to the outside,
okay.
and he got his head taken off. You know, but dude, name the starter. You know, if let me, I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate here. If you name the starter right now, let's say we name him tomorrow. DeBoer has a press conference, guys. We're just gonna go ahead and get this over with.
He calls into the show right now.
Keelon Russell is our starting quarterback. Do you know what the talk of college football is going to be going up into the rest of the next 30 days?
Oh, it'll be the talk of college football for 72 hours until something else stupid happens.
Well, you know, but my point is that, you know, we get all this hype around Cignetti, and I know we're going to talk about this in the show and the comments that he makes and the Big Ten's lack of scheduling. But my point is that the talk is Alabama football. And I think there's a little bit of talk right now because they're unproven. They don't have the line. What's the running game going to look like? Are we going to put Crowell in as a freshman and run the football? All these things, right? But if you name the starting quarterback now, there's a good conversation taking place around Alabama football as the season gets started. If you wait until the last second and we have a hiccup, it's going to be like, holy smokes, what happened, right?
I can see that.
That's right. 5 Adam, you found us today. Well, thank you. We appreciate you supporting us, hitting us up here in the comment section and watching the show.
Welcome
Saturday
aboard.
mornings, of course, we'll turn it in. Just a couple of weeks, we're turning over to the kickoff show for Off the Bench, and we'll be covering everything for before the games for week 0 and beyond for the regular season in college football. So you also have a comment about the offensive line. We're going to get to that here in a little bit, but first we do have to take a quick break, and we're going to talk about Cignetti and Bielema's comments on the other side here on the Off the Bench College Football Show. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back.
Sneaking bottles from my daddy's cupboard. At least he knew that my mama tried. Tonight I showed up 10 minutes late, but to me that was early. If I ain't getting paid, then I ain't in a hurry. It's closing time. I'm still ready to drink, 'cause I'm under the influence of Merle Haggard and Whale. I'm walking down a road near College Station. Can't find my ride, I'm too drunk to drive. If I can find my keys, I get a DUI. Running on a cheap bottle of old Jim Beam and a half-empty can of nicotine. Under the influence of hanging out SURVIVE. All my friends have done gone home, and I'm sitting here on the sidewalk alone. All the honky-tonks are shutting down. Sun's waking up in my head, it's a hurting. Time to call up one of those blonde-headed nurses, somewhere to sleep, and maybe an IV. 'Cause I'm under the influence of Merle Haggard and Whale. I'm walking down a road near College Station. Can't find Stuck in some apartment, don't know the location. Think I lost my keys. Hope they don't tow my truck, 'cause I'm running on a cheap bottle of old champagne and a half-empty can of nicotine. Under the influence of hanging out, SURVIVE. Dipspit sitting in a sun-dried can, cut off tea with a farm stand, trash in the back of an S10 bedroll, tattoo right across your chest. People say we're all just ticks, but they get it if they did it like this. Out in the sticks, we say, hey, are ye how, honey? We ain't broke, but we don't come for money. Your supper's on the stove if you're hungry. We get tired on Saturday night and then home Sunday. We're in a church view, yeah, we kill what we eat if we have to. If you think we're silly, kind of hell, must be too country.
7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Alfine, co-host Richie Jones with me as well, and
Morning.
Pops on the other side. So at the end of the last segment, you know, we've been talking about a lot of things, hitting up the comment section a lot. And of course, the offensive line, we're going to talk about a little bit more, going into a little bit more fall camp news in the next segment here as we enter the second hour of the Off the Bench College Football Show. First, though, a couple Big Ten coaches have fired some shots at the SEC, okay? You know, and here's the central question around the whole thing. Has the Big Ten earned the right to call itself the best conference in college football? Indiana head coach Curt Cignetti declared the Big Ten with the best league in the sport. He argued the conference does not need a hype machine and said Big Ten programs do not complain when they fall apart. You can interpret that as calling the hype machine as Alabama released the schedule with the student section having colorways to it each game, with certain games having different colorways. Cignetti obviously saying
I think
they don't need that.
I think when he's talking about the hype machine, and unfortunately college football, regardless of the SAVE Act, has turned into ESPN versus Fox. And since ESPN owns the national championship, they own the playoff, they own the vast majority of the bowl games, they own the SEC contract, that it's very much ESPN versus Fox, because Fox has Big Ten. Fox has, and I think that is what he's referring to when he says the hype machine. I don't think it has anything to do with what the students are wearing.
Yeah. Illinois head coach Bret was even more direct while discussing how NIL revenue sharing and the transfer portal have changed college football. Bielema said that the SEC wants to live in 2005 forever.
Or 18, 19, 21, 20, 22.
Richie was more direct in saying we could live even further in the, I guess
more recent.
Recent. Yeah.
Up until the last 3 years, yes.
I don't think there's any question that the Big Ten has had the SEC's number the last couple of years, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I've said this over and over again. When Cignetti wins 2 or 3 in a row, okay, I'll sit there and call it a dynasty. You want to call it whatever. Mm-hmm. It's a really good.
You win 3 championships. It's a dynasty.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the truth.
But when you sit there and I know we're going to dig into this. When you sit there and you look at those schedules in the Big Ten, and you know Indiana, where are they ranked in the schedule?
I couldn't find them.
I bet you they're in the hundreds. I mean, they have 2 ball games all year long that are it's Michigan and Ohio State. Okay. And that's it. Okay, and you know they're playing.
Now they play Iowa.
They're playing Howard, Western Kentucky. Their Big Ten games are Rutgers. Minnesota. They do have USC. They are playing Washington.
Oh, I'm
but
sorry. I lied. They don't even play Iowa.
When you look at the SEC schedules and the team that's the lowest in the strength of schedule is Georgia, and they're 21.
Georgia's probably going to win Georgia's got the betting odds to win the SEC championship.
Okay,
There's only 4 teams that are not SEC in the top 20. It's Ohio State, who plays at Texas. It's Michigan, who plays
at Oklahoma.
I think it's in the Big House this year. I think. My
House.
apologies. USC, who happens to have to play like Washington or Oregon and Ohio State and somebody else, and then Northwestern, who I don't know who they pissed off at and got the schedule they got, but. And the other thing is, it's not just that their schedules are not as strong as the SEC, and I think that's part of the hype machine is because it's ESPN's Power Football Index, so it's ESPN who's putting out these strength of schedules and everything, and has the SEC 16 of the top 20 toughest schedules in the college football are SEC. And if I'm not mistaken, how many teams are there in the SEC?
16.
That's 16.
Yeah.
So that's all of them.
7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. 5 Adam hitting us up. What position will Xavier Griffin play? Edge or inside linebacker? I think it's going to be inside linebacker. But if you've seen Caleb Woodson, he's jacked, man.
He's going to play winner. That's what position he's playing.
Pictures they put out this week of Woodson. Yeah.
This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back here in just a minute. Seven 30 a.m. 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Elfine. Co-host Richie Jones sits to the left of me, and of course Pops on the opposite side of us. If you want to hit us up here, you can do so, guys. Hit us up in the YouTube comment section here at Off the Bench CFB on YouTube. Of course, like the show, share the show, and subscribe to the show as you want to tune in. And we'll be around all of college football season with the kickoff show returning as we'll preview all the games, well, the 10 best games of the day for the college football season.
We get to do Pick'ems again.
Pick'ems will be back. Pick'ems will be back. and hopefully I can
I like how
find a
you
way
said.
to do it.
I like how you said the 10 best games because we'll get bogged down on like 3, and
We will.
at the end of the
That's for
show
sure,
we're gonna be
though.
like, yeah,
Here's the 10 games.
Washington plays.
And Washington's good this year.
I know.
Speaking
Well,
of
I
Washington,
mean, I'm so looking forward
Yeah.
to week 2. Howard in Indiana, man, I can't wait for that game.
guys, welcome to the hour 2 of the Off the Bench College Football Show, where Pops and Richie want to take it over and talk about the Indiana schedule as they continuously hate on it. And I'll bring on one of my Indiana buddies, and we'll figure out how to put him on the show and discuss a little deeper into this, because y'all are definitely, this hit a very, very harsh spot with y'all.
I just think when you
Listen,
you're,
hold
you're-
on. I'm gonna be real for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So, somebody a couple years ago, Colin Cowherd talked about how the MLB had no idea how to make a schedule, and they would have, the Braves and the Mets and Yankees, Red Sox would be like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday series, and one of the games would be a 2:30 first pitch. And Fox got with them and said, hey, why don't we move that series to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we'll put all of them on the air? And somebody at Major League Baseball was like, oh, that makes sense. We can do that. I'm not saying that same person didn't get a hold of the Big Ten and go, hey, what if we helped you with your schedule since, we're going to be airing all of your guys?
I mean, we've talked about it for years. The Big Ten's biggest issue is they put their best game at noon on Saturday.
11 a.m. Central Time.
The big noon kickoff. But here's my thing. You can say what you want about, ESPN putting out their power index and that the SEC has the toughest schedules in the country by far and away every year, all year. All 16 have the top 20 toughest schedules in the country. But here's my thing. At any point in time, I'm going to go over the list of Indiana's schedule, and you tell me where the scare comes from. Okay? They open the season at home against North Texas. Okay, I'll move on. Howard comes into Bloomingdale week 2.
I can't wait to watch.
What's
that
the
game at
okay.
11 o'clock.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. All right, me and Pops, we're gonna talk when we think that they have a shot at losing that game.
Okay. Week 3 is Kentucky. My apologies.
Western
Kentucky. Once again, still at home. Week 4 at home. Northwestern comes to town. They might write an article about it. Week 5, they get to go on the road for the first time of the season to Rutgers,
Camden, New Jersey.
the Scarlet Knights, the State University of New Jersey. We move on to October 10th. Remember, October 10th, I believe Alabama plays like their second or third ranked team in a row. The Indiana Hoosiers go on the road to Nebraska. Okay, I've heard nothing from y'all. Oh, wait a minute. We hit a tough spot. Ohio State comes to Bloomingdale.
They will lose.
Indiana
game.
loses.
They will lose that game.
They have the following week, they play at the Big House in Michigan.
So they'd have 2 back-to-back games that are top 25. That's it so far.
Yep. And then they play Indiana. Minnesota comes to town. The Golden Gophers. Okay, I heard nothing from y'all. Oh, we get a bye week because, we've had a real tough stretch right there. Got to get our bye in. Then they go at Washington. USC comes to town. And then at Washington. And then home for Purdue.
So they go on the road twice pretty much all year long.
I think they have 2 losses in that stretch. I'd put a half loss on Washington because I think it's a toss-up.
Washington's going to be good. They're top 25
they are.
for sure.
Finch has got that team under wraps since DeBoer's been gone.
I mean, the honest answer is the first part of their schedule, they're 6-0 and they could start their third string quarterback, right? Defense is going to be there. You're going to hear all this hype around how good Indiana's offense is. You're going to hear all the Indiana quarterback for Heisman, 6-0 right off the bat. Then they get to play Ohio State and Michigan back-to-back, okay? If they go 1-2 in them games, Ohio State is playing at Indiana, so they are in Bloomington, right?
Yep.
And then you get to go to the Big House.
On the road.
Right?
Yep.
On the road. So they've got their first on-the-road game, which is going to be a stretch, is Week 8.
And
That's
I'll
crazy.
even go further than this. People are going to underestimate how important week 2 is. Ohio State plays Texas.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Howard game.
Michigan plays Oklahoma. If the Big Ten goes 2-0 in that, and then Indiana plays the two teams that beat SEC schools, you'll never hear the end of it.
Ohio State in Texas is going to really set the precedent of the college football season because you're really going to see that's going to be the decider of how the Big Ten and the SEC is going to be judged early on in the year and possibly the rest of the year.
That's what we heard it last year when these big games were played early.
And that's what happened. You had Ohio State and Big Ten took that narrative over of, who's the better conference right now.
Yeah.
So the Texas game, whoever we see on Texas is going to be the Arch Manning at the end of the year last year, the beginning of the year last year. Because people forget Arch Manning actually finished a good season pretty good last year.
It may be way too early for me to say this.
Right?
Not only does Archie hold up a nice, beautiful trophy in New York at the end of the season, he gets to hold up an even prettier trophy about 6 weeks later.
Okay.
When Superman does his thing, I've been critical of Manning. I really have.
I may be eating crow week two when they get just destroyed by Ohio State, but legit, I think Texas is headed into this season far and away with the best talent. They've got the most consistency coming back.
Good receiving core.
This is talking about taking out the kitchen sink and throwing it on the 50-yard line. Stark, if he doesn't do it with this team, is he ever going to do it?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I started the segment with talking about the scheduling and how it's put together. Somebody at the Big Ten has figured out that we can finagle the schedule in a way where our big schools play one or two big games, and then they play a bunch of nobodies. And even if they lose those two, we're 11-2 in the Big Ten. You can't keep us out of the playoff.
Where's Oregon at in the schedule? Where's Penn State in the schedule?
Oregon's going to be good. Penn State's a question mark of where they'll end up. Who knows what Matt Campbell's going to do? Matt Campbell was really good.
This far last year.
I get it.
And Indiana gets a loss.
Matt Campbell coming into Penn State is going to the whole goal is to change the narrative of they can't win the big game. Now, Matt Campbell didn't have a really good year at Iowa State last year, but he has enough under his resume that got him that job at Penn State. I know Josh Pate pushed it all year for Matt Campbell to end up at Penn State, and that's what inevitably happened. So Penn State, I don't think they'll be back in the playoff contention this year. It's going to take them a year to get under the belt of Matt Campbell and solidify their chances and odds of getting there.
Okay. I don't know who did this, but dark horse playoff national championship team, Michigan. I just looked up Oregon's schedule. Okay.
So you have Oregon, you have Ohio State and Indiana on Michigan's schedule?
Yes. But listen to this. So Oregon's schedule, I'll just kind of skim through it real quick.
Yeah.
Home for Boise State, at Oklahoma State, home for Portland State, USC, UCLA, Nebraska, Illinois, Northwestern. Here's where it gets interesting. November 7th, Oregon goes on the road to the Horseshoe, Ohio State. The following week, they get Michigan. So the two biggest teams that Michigan has to play is Indiana and Oregon, coming off of having to play Ohio State the previous week.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'll tell you the issues with Michigan here in a little bit, guys, but we do have to get into a different question here. The biggest storylines entering fall camp for each team. So which question will define the 2026 college football season once practices begin? The SEC enters fall camp with several major coaching changes. Alex Gullish beginning at Auburn, John Summerall taking over Florida, Kiffin at LSU, and Golding at Ole Miss, right? So the first question we're going to ask is, these biggest questions that we have, and obviously for Alabama it's the quarterback, but it's so overtalked. We know the definitive answer for that. Alabama's rebuilt O-line is their number one camp question for me, besides quarterback.
I agree with that because both quarterbacks are really good.
You have Adrian Clem. He's, can he establish that starting five? Either you put the best five out there or the best five with chemistry out there. There's a difference between both those. You could have different players on that front. Is the offensive line more of a concern than quarterback, though?
For me right now, it is. When you look at an offensive line group that does not have a single senior,
Right.
not one,
Yeah.
that should tell you a little bit
Which is
about
great
what
for
happened.
next year.
It'll be great for next year and the year after. But that should tell you a lot about what happened to Bama last year.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have a single senior on your O-line, in your O-line room. Hey, where's that leadership come from? It comes from a sophomore, Michael Carroll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, because here's the I'll answer your question with a question.
Mm-hmm.
If Kalen DeBoer called into the radio show right now and told us that the starting quarterback was, do you care? Does it change? Does it legitimately change how you feel about the season?
No, it changes our talking points.
Right. But you still, we're still somewhere between an 8-4 and a 10-2 team. Both of these quarterbacks are very capable of winning a bunch of ball games.
100%.
So yes, the what is the biggest question for Alabama being their offensive line is because the quarterback, we just need to know the name and what number jersey is he wearing. Like everything else is going to be fine. They can both throw the ball. One can run a little bit better than the other, but one's got a little more, expertise behind him, experience behind him. But so, yeah, I mean, the offensive line is the big deal. And last time I checked, neither one of these quarterbacks are going to be any good if they're running for their lives, the entire 60-minute ball game.
Right. I think the offensive line definitely sets the tone for the rest of the team. You got to figure out the quarterback situation. You have to figure out that chemistry with that wide receiver core, who's a really good wide receiver core, but they have to get the ball thrown to him, and that starts with the offensive line getting their stuff down. Okay, rapid fire for the rest of these. All right, guys?
Yep.
Can Texas finish the job? You have Sarkisian, possibly could go to the NFL this season, and then Arch Manning also going to the NFL after this season.
I think
Two
so.
of your most important pivotal people in that program could be gone by year's end.
I think Texas did an awesome job in the transfer portal. They got the Auburn receiver.
Cam Coleman.
Cam Coleman that we thought he's going to team up with Wingo. They're going to have an awesome receiving core. And you also got the running back from North Carolina State that was supposed to come to Bama. I remember he was at Bama. He signed with Bama. Then he ended up all of a sudden he's in Texas because of money. But, yeah, I think Texas gets it done this year.
Hollywood Smothers.
I think Texas is at worst a Final Four.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Hey,
All right.
Chelsea, don't ignore Five Adams' comments. Man, he's got some good ones.
No, I know he is. We're going to get to him here in a little bit. Lane Kiffin's first fall camp at LSU. How quickly can Lane install this offense, and can they compete for the SEC immediately?
They cannot compete immediately. Week 3 is everything to them with the Ole Miss game. I think he's going to be good. I think LSU is a good fit for him. But, no, they don't compete immediately.
All right.
I can't wait to see Lane Kiffin get some corn dogs thrown at him, and all that kind
Golf
of good
balls,
Yeah.
mustard.
Alex Gullish begins the Auburn rebuild. What will Gullish's offense look like in year one, and can Auburn establish an identity immediately?
Five Adam comes in the comments and says Auburn loses to Florida, LSU, Bama, Ole Miss, University of Georgia, Tennessee. Just keeps naming the games that Auburn loses. So I'm agreeing with Five Adam here.
They're going to have an identity, all right.
Identity of losing. We'll see what happens. I like Gullish. He was a good hire for Auburn. I think Summerall was a better hire for Florida. But Gullish is not it's not really a compensatory prize. I mean, Gullish is still a good coach. But Auburn needs to readjust on how they view their seasons. They don't need to be looking at a playoff every year. You're more of once of every 4 years to looking at a playoff. That's just the truth with Auburn. It always has been. They have never, ever been to that standard where they need to be competing for a national title every year.
They won 7 last year.
They did win 7. They did win 7. That is true. They did win 7 in the offseason. That is true. Plus, they have
national championships.
Plus, they have Chris Kaplovich at their offensive line. The Alabama fans know about Chris Kaplovich, right?
Yeah.
We know how bad that turned out for Alabama. So good luck to the Auburn Tigers over there.
Good luck, Auburn. Yes.
With that. All right, John Summerall's taking over Florida. Can Summerall create an immediate turnaround? Will his energy translate into late in the season? And also, how much patience will Florida have for their head coach?
I think Florida has the lowest floor and the highest ceiling of any SEC school. They could be 3-9 or are 10-2 at the end of the season.
Right.
Who's the quarterback at Florida?
The Florida quarterback.
I'm going blank on his name because he was so highly recruited and he had all these stars behind him.
It's Philo. It's is it Aaron Philo?
And then last year he threw like 25.
Oh, he is not
interceptions.
there no more.
He's
He
not
is
there
at
anymore?
he's at
No,
Baylor.
yeah.
Okay,
He's
okay.
at Baylor.
Oh, that's right.
Tim Tebow is the quarterback at Florida.
Oh, I forgot.
Was
He came
was
back.
Oh, I'm sorry, was.
the quarterback at there.
All right.
Richie, what do you think Summerall's going to do?
I'm telling you, I think they're going to be good, but they have the opportunity just to completely fall off the boat.
Right. Okay, Pops.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, Florida's just got a lot of legacy behind it. I love to hate Florida. I still think about Tebow crying, but this year with all the hype around the SEC, in my opinion, the rest of the Florida teams just could be crying right along with Tebow.
All right. Pete Golding inherits expectations at Ole Miss, and I've been heavy about this. I think Golding has a window right now that if he doesn't win now, he might be in trouble with the powers above him because of who he's inheriting with Trinidad Chambliss and Kawan Lacey, both Heisman candidates entering the season.
I was going to say, when you got two Heisman candidates in your backfield with the starting quarterback, that the only reason he's playing is because of a judge in Ole Miss in Mississippi, and then you've got that running back, man. Ole Miss's time is now to get it done.
If I read the news article, the headline for December 12th to you that says Trinidad Chambliss and Ole Miss take on Florida in the SEC championship game.
I think I would throw up.
Yeah, no, I don't. I just don't see that happening. Just
I don't know about that
SEC
one. That's
is stacked
a little,
now. No,
Yeah, that's tough.
Okay.
It'd be interesting though. It definitely.
I would have to start comparing schedules, and I haven't looked into that hard enough.
Okay. All right. Can Oklahoma take the next step? John
Nope.
Mateer's back at quarterback. Venables maybe hot seat eligible. Maybe hot seat eligible.
Next.
Mateer's back. No, you're not on the train.
Next.
Next. All right, Pops.
No, I am on that train, right?
All right.
I think maturity is everything. The Oklahoma's defense is not going anywhere. They're always there, okay? But, the quarterback at Oklahoma is going to get it out of his head that, Xavier Brown pick 6, going into halftime is the only difference between them playing Indiana and us playing Indiana. I say us, meaning Bama. But I think they can. I think that they can get it done this year. But, again, they're playing in a loaded SEC. We'll see what happens.
All right. Can Indiana reload after winning the national championship? They got Josh Hoover over there, former TCU quarterback. Where do they go?
Well, you said reload. I don't think they're reloading. They lost by far the best quarterback in college football last year. He won all the awards and rewards, and his reward for doing so is he's the backup quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, that's true.
He didn't even get the starting position over Curt. I've been at every team in the NFL, Cousins.
Yeah. 5 Adam, don't worry. You are being heard here on the Off the Bench College Football Show. He answers no to the Indiana question.
But when you look at their schedule, I mean, even if they lose the two toughest games they've got all year, they're 10-2 in the Big Ten. They're gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
That's
what it all comes
Indiana.
down to.
I mean, so okay, we can propose this in another segment. If Indiana's 10-2 and they've got those two games and they lose one of two of those, then you get an SEC school who's 10-2 and who gets in, who doesn't, right? You can see where I'm going with that. But I'm with you. I don't think Cignetti is. I'll give Cignetti all the respect in the world. I mean, everybody's in love with the guy as a coach. Players want to go play for him. Look at what just happened with the whole sales deal.
Yeah.
Okay. When a kid grows up known as Bama as his nickname and he picks Indiana over Bama, I know there's a lot of money involved with that, okay? But I think Indiana's got it going on right now. There's no question about it. But we'll see what happens in year 2 under the Cignetti train.
Well, and you also got to think about this too, right? And this is one of the things I brought up for Fernando Sales right before he was committing. Alabama, they're one of their biggest selling points right now is this generation of kids that are now committing. They were all Alabama fans growing up because Alabama was the team that was good.
Right, yeah.
The problem with that, the one thing Alabama can't sell is what other coaches can sell that used to coach for Alabama. Nobody in the building was there when they were winning for Alabama.
Yeah.
Nobody was, okay? At Texas, they can sell it. Sark was there. Indiana, they can sell it. Cignetti was there. And Oregon, they could sell it. Kiffin was there. There's coaches all at Kiffin can sell it because he was there. There's coaches at Golden can sell it because he was there.
Kirby
There's
Smart.
Kirby Smart. There's coaches all over the country that can sell that, hey, I was in the building when they were doing that at Alabama.
Yeah.
We can do that. And I want you around that situation.
Yeah,
I want
yeah,
you
yeah.
around that. I want to
Absolutely.
fuel that through you. All right, so that's
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 so
one of the
well
biggest
said
issues.
and everything, because now we're having to recruit against ourselves.
Exactly. Your biggest issue is because you were so good. So it all comes back around. All right, last question before we got to take a break. Which first-year SEC coach has been the best, will have the best debut?
Well, according to you, Kels, it's going to be Will Stein at Kentucky.
All right.
Who are all my choices?
You got Lane Kiffin at LSU, Alex Ellis at Auburn, John Stromer off Florida, Pete Golding at Ole Miss, Will Stein at Kentucky, and Ryan Silverfield at Arkansas.
All right, I'm not counting LSU because Kiffin, that's a whole thing.
Yeah, okay.
My answer is I think Florida.
Okay.
Oh, Florida. I thought you were going to Ole Miss by far, man. Ole Miss is
I'm not
all the pieces are there for Ole Miss.
I'm not counting Ole Miss either because he was already there. He took over the program for the most important 4 games of the year. So to me, he's not really a first-year head. I guess he is technically, because he was the head coach at the end of the season, so I don't count him as a first-year head coach. I think Kiffin is in a league and a change all of his own, but I think of the actual first-year head coaches at a SEC school, it's Florida.
Okay. All right, Pops.
No, I was going to say Ole Miss, but you don't consider him a first-year head coach. I just think Ole Miss has all the pieces, man, and why am I going blank on names? Gullish,
yeah, for Auburn.
Yeah. It's just he's got all the pieces to win it. He's got 2 Heisman guys in the backfield with the quarterback and running back, Lacey and Trinidad. And how old is Trinidad at this point? Is he 25, 26,
73,
something like that?
He's the best quarterback in college
Pops.
football.
No question about it.
Pops, I was told you don't want to win the Heisman Trophy. You want to be the guy who loses the starting position to a Heisman candidate.
Look at Diego Pavia.
That's what the quarterback at Kentucky is.
Do you think that
Pavia's
Pavia wanted to win that Heisman?
He's going to go to the CFL. He's going to argue for
No, he's
another year.
not. He's going to go play for like New Mexico
State
school.
Oh,
I heard
he's going to go JUCO.
He's going back to JUCO.
I heard the Birmingham
crazy.
Stallions were going to get him as the next quarterback.
Oh wait, it's not Birmingham no more.
I know.
They're done after this year.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Aaron's going to find a new home that's not in Birmingham.
The Huntsville. No, I'm sorry.
I would have gone with Golding as well, but if I would have had to choose a guy that was actually like young first year, like we're talking not inheriting anything, it would have been Summerall.
Yeah.
Not Will Stein.
Actual first year
Florida.
in the SEC.
Right. 7:30 a.m., 1039 FM, Jock Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
If you're on a
Dipspit sitting in a sun-dried can, cut off tea with a farm stand, trash in the back of a nesting bedroom, tattoo right across your chest. People say we're all just texts, but they get it if they did it like this. Out in the States, we say, hey, are ye how, honey? We ain't broke, but we don't come for money. Your supper's on the stove if you're hungry. We get tired on a Saturday night. Sunday, we're in a church view. Yeah, we kill what we eat if we have to. If you think we're silly, kind of hillbilly, then you just don't get it, buddy. Must be too country. Yeah, we burn a little rubber in a parking lot. Can't get in any trouble if you're friends with the cops. We are who we are, ain't gonna stop. Only listen to our mamas and God. And we say, hey, are ye how, honey? We ain't broke, but we don't come for money. Supper's on the stove if you're hungry. We get tired on a Saturday night and then on Sunday, we're in a church pew. Yeah, we kill what we eat if we have to. If you think we're silly, kind of hillbilly, then you just don't get it, buddy. Must be too country. Must be too country. Yeah. Dip spit sitting in a sun-dry can. Cut off tea with a farm stand. Trash in the back of a nest. I was always that boy getting into trouble. Sneaking bottles from my daddy's cupboard. At least he knew that my mama tried. Tonight I showed up 10 minutes late, but to me that was early. If I ain't getting paid, then I ain't in a hurry. It's closing time. I'm still ready to drink, 'cause I'm under the influence of Merle Haggard and Waylon Walton.
7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Fine, co-host Richard Jones with me as well, and
Howdy.
Pops on the opposite side of the screen here. I think we just got confirmation that UK Week 2 off the bench may be on the road.
We off the bench on the road.
Off the bench on the road. Maybe it's a tour. Maybe we start a tour name. I don't think we have enough money for a tour.
Yeah, we
Tour.
have like a one-stop
We
tour.
I think we have a budget of like
Kentucky,
$200.
Mississippi State.
I think we have a budget of $200.
Home for A&M.
I do want to take a second and thank everybody listening to us over on YouTube. If you're out there right now on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. We try to be this entertaining or fun every Saturday morning. We're going to do back to some midweek updates as we get closer to the season.
As we get closer to the season, of course, we are out here in a couple of weeks. We're going to take one weekend off before the start of the season. I think we're going to be down in the cool waters of the 30A down there in Florida. We're going to reset, rejuvenate, and
You going
get
scuba
ready.
diving down there?
What?
You going to go scuba down in?
I got 3 dives planned right
yeah,
now
yeah.
while I'm down there. Yeah.
We're going to reset, rejuvenate, get ready for the season, and I think midweek updates will be back at a new time and a new day during the week. I think we're planning for Thursday, 7 p.m. or Thursday at 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
It's
Thursday.
what we're aiming at for midweek updates. And it's going to be a fun season, y'all. Y'all got to tune in. Of course, kickoff shows are returning here on the Off the Bench College Football Show. And, of course, Pick'ems. Pick'ems back on the backside. Last segment every Saturday morning right before the action starts. We'll be going with Pick'ems.
We got to try to figure out a way to do a better job of keeping up with who got what right and everything, and then having some sort of like we need to go to like the thrift store and get like a broken bowling trophy,
Yes.
and give it to whoever had the best pick'ems.
Or maybe a Kentucky jersey. One of the two.
Ooh.
I mean, they may be on sale after week 3.
It could be. We're gonna
Or
see
they
what-
could be a hot item, man. Will Stein
man.
turns this program around.
It could be. We'll see what
We'll
happens.
sign.
here.
We'll sign it. You could have.
You want an
your
Aaron?
very-
You want an Aaron Philo jersey?
You could have your very own off the bench signed Kentucky basketball jersey.
I think I have a Chuck Hayes jersey, number 44, in there in the closet, and I've got my Lorenzen jersey, the hefty lefty, But hey,
Wow.
those were the Kentucky.
That was some good days for Kentucky when they had
Man.
the 700-pound quarterback.
He was
maybe that's what they need again. Maybe a
85 when he played.
rejuvenation.
Yeah.
Take an athlete out of the portal and just make him a quarterback.
You know what Kentucky needs? They need that one like just crazy off the reservation. They need to go down to like Hawaii and find like a Island Pacificaner quarterback.
Highland Pacificaner.
Yeah. And not like a Tua. Like I'm talking about like a 300-pound
Linebacker.
Hawaiian quarterback
But linebacker,
At-
quarterback.
at Kentucky.
I think it'll work. It'll work. But before we get to that, we got to move over
the
to
Wildcat.
we got to move back over to the Big Ten.
Okay.
Do we have to?
Yeah, we do. Because Whittingham had some comments to say about a certain rivalry up there. Whittingham isn't going to be a fit at Michigan. I don't think. He's been brought in to stabilize the program. I said he's too old for the job.
He's
to
only
start
107.
Year one, right? He already retired at Utah. But here we go, okay? Whittingham said he understands the intensity and importance of Michigan versus Ohio State and wants to win the game as badly as anyone in Ann Arbor. However, he does not believe a rivalry needs genuine hatred and said pretending to hate Ryan Day would be dishonest. Whittingham is not unfamiliar with major rivalries. Of course, he was in the Holy War with BYU. But hate is too strong of a word for Ohio State Ryan Day.
Nah. You know what I say about Auburn, right? I
Can't say that on the air.
Can't
Can't
say
say
that
that
on
on
the
the
air.
air. Can't say that on the air. Beat Auburn. That's it. Beat
Yeah.
Auburn.
That's what this.
And Tennessee.
And LSU.
And
LSU too, right? Yeah.
It's and Tennessee too. But yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right.
you-
We
yeah.
did.
Hey, you know what Carl said? Carl said on, duck Michigan. They should duck Michigan.
Duck. Duck is the new word for the offense.
So here's my thing.
Duck Michigan.
I could understand why a head coach that's been around the game for what feels like 100 years
Right.
He's trying to bring some maturity to it.
it
Well, they have Bryce Underwood still there.
has some respect and some love for the head coach, a national championship winning head coach of another team. I can understand why you would have that feeling. I am sure that every head coach of Auburn was like, you know what? Nick Saban's actually a really good coach. Every head coach at Tennessee was like, you know what? Nick Saban's a really good head coach. You know what the difference is?
They hated him.
You don't say it out loud.
Yeah.
You don't say, that Nick Saban, when he's got his little Debbies and everything, he's just a sweet little guy.
If you walk up to either campuses on game week, whether it's being played in Ann Arbor or it's being played in Ohio State in Columbus, you know what they do? They do this specifically in Columbus.
For the game,
The game
they mark out all the M's on campus.
on campus.
Yeah.
I don't exactly know what they do in Ann Arbor.
I don't.
They do something as well.
Yeah. But every
this rivalry is
yeah.
hatred filled.
I like.
It is a college football, old-fashioned hate week kind of rivalry.
I mean, it's not the Iron Bowl. It's not
bigger than the Iron Bowl.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I think
I'm
it's
not-
bigger than the Iron Bowl.
I don't think
No,
the
when-
hate
when-
is.
the hate isn't. I don't think.
You know what's okay? What I will say is not bigger for that rivalry. I think Tennessee and Alabama is a bigger rivalry than Ohio State and Michigan.
Sir.
Third Saturday in October.
Sir, hold on a second, sir.
I
Sir,
saw a
hold on,
rating
sir.
of these games the other day. By the way,
At no point in time in the history of history
yeah.
has anyone at Michigan called into a radio program that was nationally televised to inform the host of said television show that he had poisoned trees on the campus of Ohio State because, quote, quote, he had too much Michigan in him.
From a fan and media side perspective, you look at that and be like, okay, obviously this is a fan-filled hatred rivalry.
Yes.
But if you ask me who I hate more, who do I hate more?
Oh, Tennessee.
Hate Tennessee more.
Every day.
Yeah.
Okay? Auburn and Alabama just hasn't been competitive over the last 10, 15
Dude,
years.
but some of the best memorable games.
I mean, the
let's
kick
just be
six,
honest
the
here.
Gravedigger, the kick six, that's what you remember.
Yes. I will give you this. I've always said for 100 years,
Uh-huh.
and I will continue to say this. Auburn is everybody that is an Alabama fan or an Auburn fan has somebody in their family that is of the other.
Yes.
So as an Alabama fan, I've got somebody in my family is an Auburn fan, and you still invite them to Thanksgiving dinner because you still love them, right? You still invite them. Tennessee, however, is like that neighbor who doesn't cut their grass and lets their dog bark at 3 a.m. You don't invite them to nothing.
As Five Adam says online, I hate Auburn, Tennessee, LSU, Georgia, Texas. He just keeps going through.
I don't have an issue with Texas. I never really have. LSU, I want to hate them more because I feel like that rivalry is so good
Yes,
between
yeah.
Alabama and LSU.
That's a respectful rivalry.
I was
So is
just gonna
Georgia.
say-
So is Georgia.
Yes, yes,
It's,
yes.
it's
I will say,
respectful.
I don't. For some reason, I don't hate Texas. Okay, although I will say, when Texas beat Alabama 3 years ago now in Tuscaloosa, man, there was some feeling of hatred watching. Watching those Texas fans.
I hate
storm
A&M
out on the
more.
I'll
field.
tell you the most depleting point, and this is when you hit rock bottom as an Alabama fan.
Yeah,
I had a few drinks in me. We were sitting on the quad.
yeah. Oh, you're watching that.
Watching the game between Alabama and Texas on the TV. Pops,
Yeah.
you were in the stadium.
We were in the stadium.
I didn't feel like paying for a ticket, so we had some neighbors out there tailgating. So I'm like, I'm gonna sit here, see what's going on. We're watching the game. We have like a 5-second delay, 5-10 second delay on the TV.
I know exactly which play you're going to talk about.
I thought Bama scored a touchdown.
Milrose's pick in the fourth quarter.
Milroe threw a pick in the fourth quarter. And that's all she wrote.
That
and
hurt.
rock bottom as an Alabama fan sitting on the quad halfway inebriated is not fun.
When you
It's
can
not
hear
fun.
the stadium
When you
noise.
can hear the stadium roar and you think that you score a touchdown and you just feel complete depletion when you watch the TV and see that Milroe's ball that he threw went into a Texas receiver or Texas corner's hand.
Went to the wrong color.
But why Texas? I mean, I respect Sark. I respect Kirby Smart. There's a piece of me that respects Lane Kiffin, okay?
Right?
Because they are building programs. But there's something about orange. Like, I'll still, what is Zach Bryan sings that song, something about the orange or whatever?
Yeah.
Can't stand Tennessee, can't stand Auburn. We have cousins that we're going to go to a wedding, okay, in November, which we're going to have to miss
They're
a
Auburn
Saturday
hands.
football game. That is going to be a complete Auburn fest.
I think that's LSU week.
Well,
Oh, darn. I hate that you
Hold
have
on.
to miss that.
no, I mean, I'm going to be sitting here on my phone.
Oh, man. It's going to be rough. That week's going to be rough, but we'll be on the road that week. And I think I'm not
I think that wedding's actually in Tennessee. It's in Chattanooga.
It is. Yes, it is.
Auburn fans are getting married in Tennessee on a Saturday during college
and the
football
groom and the bride both went to Auburn.
Yeah, they did.
They should be their vote should be taken away from them.
It
No,
should be.
I mean,
It should be.
they're our cousins. We're going to attend the wedding.
I
and
think
we're
this is a
looking forward
complete
to
hit
it,
on.
right?
I also saw a picture of one of my other cousins on Pops' side. And he may be a listener to the show. Maybe him or his brother is wearing a Tennessee baseball hat. And we know they're big baseball guys. They played baseball all the way up. But
Cousins. Are you talking about Matt?
no.
Who's the cousin wearing a Tennessee baseball?
We'll talk about it off the air. 7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM. Jocks on. So this is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We got Buy or Sell coming up on the other side. We'll be right back.
I was always that boy getting into trouble, sneaking bottles from my daddy's cupboard. At least he knew that my mama tried. Tonight I showed up 10 minutes late, but to me that was early. If I ain't getting paid, then I ain't in a hurry. It's closing time. I'm still ready to drink, 'cause I'm under the influence of Merle Haggard and Whale. I'm walking down a road near College Station. Can't find my ride, I'm too drunk to drive. I can find my keys, I get a DUI. I'm running on a cheap bottle of old Jim Beam and a half-empty can of nicotine. Under the influence of hanging out SURVIVE. All my friends have done gone home, and I'm sitting here on the sidewalk alone. All the honky tonks are shutting down. Sun's waking up in my head, it's a hurting. Time to call up one of those blonde-headed nurses, somewhere to sleep, and maybe an IV. 'Cause I'm under the influence of Merle Haggard and Whale. I'm walking down a road near College Station. Can't find my ride, I'm too drunk to drive. I can find my keys, I get a DUI. I'm running on a cheap bottle of old Jim Beam and a half-empty can of nicotine. Under the influence of hanging out SURVIVE. Everything will be alright, just as long as I make it through tonight. I'll survive right now. Under the influence of Merle Haggard and Wayland, stuck in some apartment, don't know the location. Think I lost my keys. Hope they don't tow my truck, 'cause I'm running on a cheap bottle of old Jim Beam and a half-empty can of nicotine. Under the influence of hanging out SURVIVE. spit sitting in a sun-dried can. Cut off tea with a farm stand. Trash in the back of an nesting bed. Roll tattoo right across your chest. People say we're all just ticks, but they get it if they did it like this. Out in the States, we say, hey, are ye how, honey? We ain't broke, but we don't come for money. Your supper's on the stove if you're hungry. We get tired on Saturday night and then home Sunday. We're in a church view. Yeah, we kill what we eat if we have to. If you think we're silly, kind of hillbilly, then you just don't get it, buddy. Must be too country.
Seven 7:30 a.m., 1839 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Alfine, co-coach Richie Jones. I'm going to re-say that because it sounded like co-coach. Co-host Ricky. He's now Ricky. Co-host Richie Jones.
You would give it a third try?
Yeah, co-host Richie Jones. And
Good
Pops
morning.
on the other side of the camera here. Guys, if you enjoyed the show today, make sure to like, subscribe, share the show. It's the best way to support us here as we move into fall camp and closer to the college football season. 26 days removed from week 0, and we'll get back into pick'ems on the date of week 0.
Nice. Hey, if you're in the YouTube chat, hit us up with where you're from and who your favorite team is.
Grow the show. How far does the reach of the show have? All right, so as promised, buy or sell college football edition. Here's how this is going to go. I'm going to ask if you guys want to buy this or sell this. And
Like a stock?
like a stock.
Okay.
All right. You guys in the comments section can hit us up on this too. And Carl hit us up. Tough to live in Knoxville. It's always tough to live in Knoxville in the midst of that orange over there.
I'm sorry, Carl.
Yeah, it's just as bad on the little brother side of the state as well. Over on the plains in Auburn, just as bad over there. All right, first one here, guys. Alabama names the starting quarterback before the final week of fall camp.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm selling.
You think it's going to go all the way up?
I think they're running platoon first game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they still got to announce the start. Who's going to be the first one?
Well, that's
Yeah,
true
yeah,
too.
I mean-
But I don't think it's not your definitive answer though.
You're talking about who's going to start week 5 won't be announced until.
No, you're not going to see that. And
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think I'm selling that one.
So we can buy, sell quarterbacks, whatever. I'm more interested in who's going to start at running back, to be honest with you. I think you got two good quarterbacks. I'm more questioning whether who's going to be the running back at Bama.
Well, you'll see a lot. I mean, I think you'll get to see everyone. You'll even see E.J. Crowell. I think he's going to get a very useful amount of playing time, especially if this running back crew isn't doing what it's supposed to early on in the season. I think you move towards E.J. Crowell and see what he can do early on.
Well, I think Hill's going to be good this year.
Right. Him and Sidarian Morgan definitely going to get some early playing time for the Tide. We'll see with Xavier Griffin, too. Xavier Griffin is going to be a phenomenal linebacker in the future. I hope he just gets enough playing time where he won't transfer. But right now, he's behind Virginia Tech transfer Caleb Woodson. And Caleb Woodson,
Beast.
he is going to lead the team in tackles this year. Him or Bray Hubbard. Him or Bray Hubbard will.
He's also
That'll
gonna
be interesting to see what they do with Hubbard.
Right.
Wow.
It will be.
He's also going to be February in the calendar.
Yeah.
February in the calendar.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Both Austin Mack and Keelon Russell will play meaningful snaps against East Carolina.
Meaningful?
Yes.
They against East Carolina week 1?
Yes.
I'll buy that. They'll both get equal amount of snaps. Yeah.
Yeah. Buy it.
All right. I'm buying it. All right. Alabama will be undefeated when it hosts Georgia on October 10th.
Buy.
All in.
All in? Buying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm buying.
I mean, that South Carolina game might be a trap. But that'll be the one game that I'll be looking at and going, ooh, it makes me nervous.
Mm-hmm. Carl, he bought the I think he was buying the first one we did. Alabama named started quarterback before the final week of fall camp. He also Five Adam also hitting us up. AK Deer got experience last year. This year he will have a big year.
Okay.
Okay.
I would like that.
I like Deere in the Oklahoma game. He came in the second half and really had some good snaps. But
I think you guys
his experience, I don't know.
You guys are forgetting about Daniel Hill. Daniel Hill big beast. He's a big style running back. I think a lot of people forget about Hill, but you're going to see some meaningful experience and meaningful time played for these running backs.
I'd love for us to have 8 guys that could actually run the ball, because that means we could actually run the ball.
Yeah, that's true too. I think that would be great.
3.5 yard average is what I'd like to see from Bama this year running the football.
That'd be nice.
Right. Last one before we get into the broader SEC. Will Stein and Kentucky will push Alabama into the fourth quarter in week 2.
Sell.
You could give me a discount code, and I'm not buying that one.
I'm
not buying that one for the second quarter.
I'm buying it. I think there's true competition there in Lexington. All right. Lane Kiffin takes LSU to the SEC championship game in year 1.
Sell.
Their schedule's too hard.
All right. I'm selling too. Alex Gullish leads Auburn to a
Sell.
ranked finish in year 1.
Sell.
Sell all day long. The Auburn schedule's too hard.
Right.
They mass exodus of their good players.
You could give me one of those like 99% off discount codes, and I'm not buying that one.
Maybe we'll bring.
I wouldn't buy that with your bunny.
We got
bring
2
Rusty
sells
on
and a
one
no
day
from
get
5
Rusty
Adam.
to talk Auburn football.
Two no's and a sell from 5 Adam. Carl also saying, don't sleep on UK. And he's also saying sell LSU.
I'm sorry.
All right. John Summerall wins at least 8 regular season games at Florida.
I'll buy that one.
I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, buy it.
I think Summerall is going to be a good coach.
Let's just face it. When Florida was good, they were recruiting. They could bring in criminals. You know, they were really good at that. They had a pastor at quarterback. But when Florida's good and their basic recruiting and being able to grab folks in the transfer portal just off the name, I think
You said 8?
8?
Yeah.
Can we got a second to go over the schedule real quick?
Not really.
We
Not
got-
really. Hold on. Hold on. We got to get through one more. Caleb Mills hitting us up in the chat. No chance on the last one. Carl saying sell Florida. 5 Adam. Autumn sucks. 500 team. And he also says buy soft schedule. So we're definitely getting into this one.
Have we
Real
talked?
harsh.
Have we talked with Caleb about how much we love Auburn football?
Yeah, and I did last week as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. All right, we got 2 more, and then we got to take a quick break, and then we're going to get to the broader national college football scope of things for buy or sell. Pete Golding keeps Ole Miss in the college football playoff.
In the playoff?
And it keeps them in the playoff.
Oh shit! I'm buying.
Sell.
All right, you're selling. All right,
What about you?
I'm buying.
Okay.
I'm buying. An SEC team that changed coaches will win at least 10 games.
Are we? Ooh.
Change coaches. I'm buying with Ole Miss. Ole Miss.
I'm buying as well.
So we're counting Ole Miss as changing? Like he was
Yes,
the starting,
yes,
He was
they
the starting coach for 4 games.
He was in the playoff. It wasn't regular season.
Yeah, I'll buy it then.
I'm buying. Pops.
You know what? No. Selling it.
You're selling, Pops?
Selling it.
Ole Miss in the playoffs?
Yes.
I'm buying that all day long.
All right, 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. More buy or sell on the other side.
Dipstick sitting in a sun-dried can, cut off tea with a farm stand, trash in the back of an S10 bedroll, tattoo right across your chest. People say we're all just ticks, but they get it if they did it like this. Out in the sticks, we say, hey, are ye how, honey? We ain't broke, but we don't come for money. Your supper's on the stove if you're hungry. We get tired on Saturday night and then on Sunday. We're in a church pew. Yeah, we kill what we eat if we have to. If you think we're silly, kind of hillbilly, then you just don't get it, buddy. Must be too country say, hey, are ye how, honey? We ain't broke, but we don't come for money. Supper's on the stove if you're hungry. We get tired on a Saturday night and then on Sunday we're in a church pew. Yeah, we kill what we eat if we have to. If you think we're silly, kind of hillbilly, then you just don't get it, buddy. Must be too country. Must be too country. Yeah. What?
7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Huffine, co-host Richie Jones, sitting to the left of me, and Pops on the other side of the camera here. We got a couple more questions. Buy or sell college football edition. We're going to go rapid fire. Only a couple minutes left in the show here. Texas enters college football playoff as a number 1 seed.
No.
Selling?
Sell it.
Both sell?
Top 4, but not number 1.
I'm selling as well.
Yep.
Guys, you can hit us up in the comments section if you're buying or selling as well. Oklahoma improves upon its 10-win 2025 season.
Absolutely not.
Sell.
I'm selling as well.
You improve on a 10-win? No.
10 win gets you in the playoffs. It's hard to improve on that.
Yep.
Exactly. Indiana returns to the playoff after winning the national championship.
Yes.
I buy all day long. They're going to be in the playoff.
Yeah.
Schedule's too easy.
Yeah, I'm buying too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question on that one. The Big Ten places more teams in the playoff than the SEC.
Sell that all day long. So you would have Oregon, you would have Ohio State, you would have Michigan, and probably Indiana. So that's 4.
Don't forget about Washington. USC's on that cusp of either win now or get fired for Lincoln
Yeah, but
Riley.
I think
3 or 4 teams.
I think that USC, Washington, Michigan is one spot. There's one spot for those 3 teams.
Okay.
I think your Indiana, your Ohio State, and your Oregon are 3 spots, and then Michigan, Washington, USC are fighting for the 4th spot.
So you got sell, your sell.
I think it's a break even. I think both get 4.
4 teams in. Yeah.
Break
out of the
even.
12.
Okay. All right. I'm going to buy. I think the SEC is going to beat up on each other again.
Okay.
It's just going to happen. I think there's no way
Ohio
around
State
it.
beats Texas at the beginning of the year. That might happen.
Oh yeah.
Kyle Whittingham beats Ohio State in his first season at Michigan.
Buy it.
Depends on what Underwood does.
I'm selling. I'm selling.
I'm gonna go off the reservation here and
Depends
say
what,
buy,
Depends what Underwood does, but they got Sayin. They got the Jeremiah Smith
because that could
over
be
there.
That could be the difference between Michigan making the playoff or not.
That could be. I mean, they're reloading a lot on defense. I'm gonna sell there.
All right.
A preseason top 10 team finishes the season unranked. This happened
Oh.
with Penn State last year.
If you made that number 2, if you made that number 3, I'd have to think about it. But if you made the number 2, I'm still buying it. At least 2 top 10 teams finish the season unranked.
Okay, Pops?
I'll buy that one. Yeah.
I'll buy it as well. It just happens so many times.
You know, a lot of hype around these
And,
teams.
and that
right?
team's name is Notre Dame.
Oh, Notre Dame.
Schedule's too easy, man.
All right, the Heisman Trophy winner comes from the SEC.
I would buy that all
Buy
day
it,
long.
yeah.
I'm buying. I think Chambliss is going
Manning.
to do it.
The only concern would be
Chambliss, Manning.
is if they took votes away from each other. But yeah,
Right, that's the issue there.
The name recognition with Manning and Trinidad is too solid. It's definitely a buy.
The SEC ends the Big Ten's 3-year national championship streak.
I buy it. I like Texas. I like Ole Miss. I like Bama.
I want to buy it, but I also want to be very controversial here and go, Ohio. The Big Ten does not win the national championship, but neither does the SEC.
Wow. Okay, that's a different one there. I'm gonna buy it.
Notre Dame.
I'm gonna buy it.
The U.
The U.
I'm gonna buy it. 7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville. This has been the Off the Bench College Football Show. Guys, you can join us every Saturday here from 9 to 11 a.m. Either on YouTube or the radio station at Off the Bench CFB on YouTube. We will see you guys next week here